Since ages I was getting a lot of advice to do my PMP course, but I really didn't pay attention unless the one particular day when I looked into the real gravity of the situation, when I understood the real core reason of why I need to do PMP, and those were based on certain very strong decisions. The initial planning is very important. The PMI website gives you a very good insight as to what are the different courses they have, and these courses are built based on your experience and expertise that you have already accumulated within the domain. So based on this, you could go ahead and make the choices whether you want to go for an initial course or specialization, or you want to go for a senior level practitioner. But what I really suggest is, if it's the first time you're trying to explore, go through these 45-minute courses on the PMI Kickoff website, and they're a really good start. Well, when I got started, there was no looking back, because this time I had made up my mind with certain strong decisions, and these decisions had to be honored. So, but the information around me for PMI and the PMP was overwhelming. So, but I did give up in the initial stages. But with proper planning, there was no looking back at this time. So I had everything jotted down, a proper planning in place, and all that had to fall in place now was a proper strategy. Proper strategy in place, all I had to do is I need to draw the lines and make sure it is executed well, like 180 questions in 230 minutes. Now this was the spine of my wall of fame for PMP. Now the spine consisted of all these orange sticky notes, and these were the critical points, or these were the strangulation points for my preparation. So I had a well prepared, a well planned strategy wall for PMP. But without proper discipline and without the proper master plan, nothing is going to really work out. So I really had a very stringent baseline master plan. First I started with IELTS, with general preparation. Then it was the real purpose of why am I doing PMP that I had to really register in my mind. Though that was a core reason, then first thing I did was registered for the PMI membership, completed the 35 PDO certifications, submitted the application for PMI eligibility. Once I got it, the first next step was to go ahead and pick up the exam date and schedule it right away. Then announced to the world through social media that I am doing the PMP exams. Got started with the exam materials, practiced, and finally I was ready for the D-Day. Well, there were certain things that I really didn't want to do. I never thought about flipping the multiple sources of knowledge. I was stuck to one particular source of knowledge. And also the pattern of questions that you do for practice is very important. Don't go ahead and keep changing them. Don't procrastinate your scheduled activities. There's no leeway for time and commitment. That means you have to be seriously dedicated and disciplined, and do not hold back the message to the people around you. Keep telling everyone that you're doing it, and don't be shy to ask anyone a question. And if you have to ask them over and over again, please do it. Practice. That's the only mantra that should go in your mind. And don't discontinue the routine after a week or two. And there were certain things that I never felt in place, and then those were the best things that I could always do. Is I had to go ahead and conquer and reconquer. So that's where the strategy actually helped me. I had to come with a proper plan, a plan that was both visually captivating and also logically sensible. So this exam is all about how well you understand the logic of project management. So that I had to break it down, the knowledge areas, I had to break it down. I had to understand the importance of each knowledge area and how much of them actually really contributed towards the examination. So the two aspects of it: one is you really want to understand the core concept of project management and learn it. Yes, you could do it. Otherwise, just for the exam sake also, you can go ahead and prepare yourself. I had to break the exam, that is for sure, but I really want to understand the core logic, because in the practical environment it is all about the logical interpretation of the concepts that is required. So PMI also states a similar concept. It's not going to ask you about your previous experience in one of the projects. It's going to ask you about what a project manager should be doing in that particular role. That means they're trying to test the bookish knowledge, okay, the standard operating procedure for a project manager, not a real-time given scenario or what best you did as a project manager in your previous role. So I had to put this logic down, and that's the reason I have the different templates of the sticky notes that you see on the wall over here. Now this is a logical representation of the crucial tasks and how these activities were actually interlinked. So I had the repetitive ones in a particular fashion. I had the smart notes in a different fashion. I had the special notes in a different fashion. So this clearly gave me an insight as to what are my weak points, what are the critical concepts that are associated with these processes and knowledge areas, and what are the salient features that influence one process to another or one knowledge area with another knowledge area. So this kind of logical interpretation and dependency was clearly established, and that's the only way where I could understand, relate and correlate the processes. So when you get a practical question, okay, that's where it would really help you. Now these pink notes are the ones which it really gives me the define attention, okay, and the yellow notes are the standard operating notes that you have, and the blue ones are again the standard subtasks. So this is where I could go ahead and develop a kind of logical interpretation. What works for you should be determined by you, but this worked something very well for me. So that's when I went ahead and adopted this.